ranking all of Ash's Ace Pokemon from weakest to strongest. First and foremost, I'm going to apply a few rules here before we actually get started in the ranking, just so we can have this be all fair and concise. I'm not going to be including Pikachu in this ranking purely because of the fact he's in every single region, and I'm going to be including an ace of Ash's team from each region. And because Pikachu's in every region, it's kind of weird to place him in the ranking, especially since I want other Pokemon to get some spotlight. And lastly, we're going to be basing this ranking off of feats, and in fact, I might not even mention win-to-loss ratio that much in this video, because I truly think win-to-loss ratio is just a scuffed way of proving which Pokemon is stronger, and I feel like feats are way better at proving that, unless the Pokemon's win-to-loss ratios are incredibly abysmal or incredibly high. Alright, enough with the boring stuff, let's talk about the actual contestants that will be participating in this ranking list. Representing Ash's Kanto team will be Snorlax, and although Snorlax is a powerhouse and a very powerful Pokemon at that, Squirtle and Bulbasaur have both lost to him and aren't really worth mentioning, as well as Primeape, because Primeape doesn't have many battles and very little screen time. And we're excluding Pikachu here, and we're also excluding Charizard. The reason we're excluding Charizard is because he's going to be the one representing the Johto team, and the reason because of that is that, again, there's not really much competition. Totodile and Cyndaquil are both baby Pokemon, didn't have any really crazy battles worth mentioning. Honorable mentions go to Heracross and Bayleaf, but again, Ash's Charizard has way better feats against stronger Pokemon, and just one of Ash's strongest Pokemon of all time, period. Representing Ash's Sinnoh team is going to be no surprise here, Ash's Infernape. Ash's Infernape is one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, just like Charizard. Ash's Infernape has gone against not one, but two pseudo-legendaries and has come in contact with Moltres. Granted, it wasn't really a fight, but still an impressive feat nonetheless. Honorable mentions go to Torterra and Staraptor. Representing Ash's Hoenn team is going to be a Sceptile. He fought Darkrai, Latios, and also fought a Metagross as a Grovyle. Do I need to say more? Representing Ash's Unova team is going to be none other than Crocodile. Although Crocodile is a very strong Pokemon, I was about to give it a Pignite because he was a very strong Pokemon too. He's faced pseudo legendaries and a lot of other fully evolved Pokemon, but his loss ratio is just so bad, and also it's very inconsistent with its battles. Like, it's lost to Deerling, bruh. And representing Ash's Kalos team is going to be Ash's Greninja. He's indirectly fought legendaries. There's nothing more to say. Representing Ash's Galar team is going to be Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario has fought countless GMAX Pokemon, including Raihan, who's comparable to Leon. And not only that, he fought the queen herself, Cynthia. And last but not least, representing Ash's Sun and Moon team is going to be Ash's Dust form, Lycanroc. Lycanroc is a very strong Pokemon on Ash's team, and one of his strongest opponents was Tapu Bulu. Tapu Bulu is one of the Island Guardians and is really strong considering the fact that the Island Guardians fought against Solgaleo and Lunala. Now that we have all of Ash's Ace Pokemon, let's start ranking them from weakest to strongest. Coming in at number 8 is going to be Ash's Crocodile. The reason he's this low on the list is purely because of the fact that he hasn't gotten the success that the other aces have. Like, the only real achievement he's gotten that's worth mentioning is against Iris's Dragonite, and although he beat Iris's Dragonite, there's really nothing worth mentioning after that. Stefan doesn't even hold a candle to all the other rivals Ash has faced in the past and future. Paul is a stronger rival, Alana is a stronger rival, Sawyer's a stronger rival. There are countless stronger rivals than Stefan. He's just comparatively weak to the others. Not only that, but Iris has grown so much as a trainer since Black and White, it's not even funny. She almost beat Cynthia, for crying out loud. Current Iris would mop the floor with Crocodile. So yeah, Crocodile is going to stay at number 8. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Ash's Snorlax, and hear me out on this one because this one might surprise you. I don't think Snorlax is a weak Pokemon. I genuinely think he's a strong one and very fast too, surprisingly, because, you know, he's more on the heavy side. But not only that, but he gets outclassed by a lot of the other Ace Pokemon I'm going to be talking about. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the pseudo-legendaries and the champions and the legendaries under his belt that really put him above other Ace Pokemon. But he's at least above Crocodile purely because of the fact that he's always won a fight against a Pokemon before losing to another Pokemon, which is really impressive. Now, coming in at number 6 is going to be Ash's Sceptile, and I see you commenting, I see you flaming me. Hear me out, let me explain. First and foremost, I know the feat that you guys are going to bring up is going to be against Tobias's Darkrai, and now let me explain how fishy the situation is. First and foremost, we just don't know how strong that Darkrai is. For all we know, it could be as weak as a Growlithe or as strong as an Arcanine. We just don't have information. We don't even know how long Tobias has even had that Darkrai for. We just know that it's not the same Darkrai from the one in the movie against Palkia and Dialga. It's the same logic that we use with Ash's Pikachu. Ash's Pikachu is incredibly strong. Yes, that's true, but it doesn't mean that every other Pikachu is as strong or even relative to Ash's Pikachu. The only time this rule doesn't apply is if there's only one variant of that said Pokemon that has displayed those said feats. One good example of this is Zygarde, because there can only be one 100% Zygarde, because although there's multiple cells, there's only enough of those cells to create and make up 100% Zygarde. Granted, there are multiple cores, but the cores can only make up 100% Zygarde to its full capacity. Darkrai is just not one of those cases, because we know that there are variants of Darkrai, so we just don't know where to draw the line from weak to strong, because we just have nothing to go off of. The only reason I put him this high is because as a Grovyle, he nearly beat a pseudo-legendary, that being Metagross. And not only that, but he nearly beat a Latios, who, although he lost to, Pikachu was able to finish up the job, but we know that the Latios was relative to Ash's Pikachu because Ash's Pikachu struggled to beat that said Latios. But again, that's just too little to go off of, so that's why he stays at number 6. Coming in at number 5 is going to be Ash's Infernape, and Ash's Infernape is a powerhouse, and I'm not joking when I say that. Not only did Infernape face one of Ash's strongest rivals, that being Paul, he beat 2 pseudo-legendaries, that being Metagross and Aggron, but he also carried the entire team against Fantina, including Pikachu as a Chimchar. And to top it all off, he not only came in contact with Moltres, but he even fought Cynthia's Garchomp. Although he got pretty much destroyed, it's still an impressive feat nonetheless that puts him this high up. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Ash's Charizard. Ash's Charizard is one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, period. He managed to beat not only Gary's Blastoise, but also Nolan's Articuno. Now, we all know that Gary is one of Ash's fiercest rivals, but not only did Ash's Charizard beat Blastoise, but he also managed to nearly beat Entei and give it a run for its money. We know that Entei's are capable of erupting volcanoes, so this is a pretty impressive feat nonetheless. And to top it all off with the cherry on top, Ash's Charizard was nearly going to beat Iris's Dragonite, and we all know this because Ash's Charizard was overwhelming the frick out of that Dragonite. Now we are finally entering top 3. Coming in at number 3 is going to be Duskform Lycanroc. Now you might be asking me, how is Lycanroc above Charizard and Infernape? How is he top 3? Now let me explain. Remember when I talked about variants earlier and how if there's only one variant, that means the feats displayed by that said Pokemon are validated because there's not multiple variants, similar to the Ash's Pikachu logic? Now if you know, Lycanroc has faced Tapu Bulu before, and Island Guardians are not multiple variants. There's not multiple Tapu Bulus, there's not multiple Tapu Finis, etc, etc. There's only one version of that said Pokemon, and there's only 4 Island Guardians in total. This is shown to be true from the anime, from the games, from the manga, everywhere. Well, then that raises the question, how strong are the Island Guardians? Well, in lore, they fought against Solgaleo and Lunala. Granted, they still lost, but they still fought them, which is an impressive feat because they made it out alive, didn't they? Not only that, but they individually fought and beat Ultra Beasts, and we know Ultra Beasts are very strong creatures because Zygarde himself stated that the Pokemon themselves are very strong and a threat to the ecosystem. And this is coming from Zygarde, not just the average legendary. Zygarde, the defender of the world, the defender of the ecosystem, who fought against Ultra Necrozma, who consumed an infinite amount of parallel universes. So the fact that Zygarde perceived Ultra Beast as a major threat to the entire world and decided to step in because of that, before he got rudely interrupted by Ultra Necrozma, these words alone put Lycanroc at number 3 and lets him stay at number 3. Taking the number 2 spot is going to be Mega Lucario. Mega Lucario was able to beat Raihan, and Raihan is the rival of Leon, and we all know how strong Leon is. Leon was nearly able to beat Ash's Pikachu, and now you can see where I'm going with this. Now Ash's Pikachu is strong enough to beat not only Tapu Koko, but countless other Ultra Beasts, so the fact that Mega Lucario was able to beat Raihan, who was the rival of Leon, who Leon nearly beat this said Pikachu, alone puts Mega Lucario above Lycanroc. And not only that, did I forget to mention he beat Cynthia, who is one of the strongest trainers at the time. So yeah. And coming in at number 1, taking the crown as Ash's strongest ace Pokemon, is going to be Ash Greninja. We all know that Zygarde is stupidly strong, but how does this relate to Ash Greninja? Well, Ash Greninja indirectly fought against Zygarde, and although that might be hard to believe, let me explain. Ash Greninja fought relative and nearly beat Alon's Charizard, and how strong is Alon's Charizard? Pretty strong considering the fact that he overwhelmed was matching speed and strength against 50% Zygarde. The same 50% Zygarde that faced Ultra Necrozma. Not only does this put Alon's Charizard above all the other aces we mentioned previously, but Alon's Charizard also faced over 10 Megas, faced Steven, the champion, and also faced Elite Four members, beaten them, and also faced Rayquaza, Kyogre, and Primal Groudon. And who nearly beat this insanity of a dragon? Ash's Greninja. And Ash Greninja nearly beat him in the league. Not only that, but Ash Greninja pre-Prime was almost able to beat Diantha, again, one of the strongest trainers in the world. And there you have it. That is Ash's strongest ace Pokemon from weakest to strongest. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It'll help me out a lot in the long run. Love you guys. Peace.